Thank you for the introduction and good afternoon. I'm Julia and I'm a master's student of communication design, and I'm going to present you AU, that is a nomadic multisensory solution for children playful learning. First, I want to say thanks to our PhD tutor, Mirko Gelsomini, that followed us during the whole project. We worked together in I3 Lab, that is a laboratory of Politecnico of Milan, and we do research in various domains such as learning and in particular for children with different abilities. This is why we start our project focus on a design for all process. We want our product to be usable to every people of our target. That can be people with different needs and different abilities. This is why we focus our target in primary school children and on an Italian public school system that include neurodiverse children. Our starting point is play. It demonstrates that play promotes cognitive, emotional, and physical abilities, and in particular for children with special needs, is an opportunity to acquire new skills in different areas. Play is influenced by several factors as the educators, one, that can be parents or psychologists or therapists. The plaything, so the object or the toy with whom they play during the activities. The children's abilities, so the skills that they use during the playing activities. And the final one is the external factors that are independent to the other ones. Motion-based activities engage children naturally, and in the literature it demonstrates that they promote an acceleration of process learning through sensory information. So it's important to give the opportunity to all the children to have a sensory experience. And in order to do that, we try to understand what system already exists. And we discover that there are multisensory environments and multisensory platforms. The multisensory environments are more immersive, but they are movable. Snozele 1 focused on multisensory therapy. Mediate is an hexagonal space with interactive surface. Magic Room has several IoT objects connected and focus on neurodiverse children. And Blue Room has virtual reality multisensory technology. On the other side, the platforms are less immersive than the environments one, but they are movable. So, for example, a part of Aurora that has the old feel around but no multimedia contents. The other ones had only one projection, so are a very restricted area in which children can play. So we want our product AU to be movable as the platforms, but more immersive. That's why we build AU with two projection fields that promotes the collaboration and the competition between children that can play in two different fields with two different teams. We developed also sound effect and light effect in order to promote the reward and the immersivity of the system. For do that, we use an investigative research methods, and we collaborate with 34 teachers from 4 different primary schools and psychologists from 2 care centers. And in particular, we ask them to answer a questionnaire in order to understand their technology attitude, the inclusive situation of the schools or the center, and also what is the best focus areas for the activities that we are going to develop for them. Then we did focus groups to let them understand what projection technologies are for real, the first set of contents that we already developed, and the initial prototype of AU. And following this method and design guidelines, we started to design the internal structure of AU that is made by Wooden. In the bottom part, you can see wheels, an accessible compartment in which you can find U-Go lights controlled by Philips U-Bridge. The whole system is controlled by two Intel New Mini PC, and you can find Microsoft Kinect and projector, one each side. The top part of the structure is easily removable, so you can access to the whole component of the structure. The external structure is made by PVC layer, covered by an adhesive blackboard in which children can draw. But there is a little part without the adhesive blackboard in order to see the LID strip in the internal part controlled by Arduino. We developed our activity with Unity apps connected to Kinect Wrapper through HTTP. And in particular, we developed two types of activity. One that is the competitive one. So the children are divided in two groups in two different fields, and AU tell them a story. And in order to go on to the story, they have to interact with the floor, so jump in the right solution to go on in the story. And with the LID strip, the quality is not so good of the projector. With the LID strip of AU, they can see the score point during the activity. The second activity is Colorful, that is a collaborative activity. The children are divided into groups. The first one see images on the floor with a specific color, and they have to tell to the other groups what color they see. The other groups with UGO lights have to search the right color around the field, positioning in a precisely position on the floor. We conduct an exploratory study with 200 children of one primary school and two preschools, and we use a standard procedure. So first we introduce AU to the children as totem poles of Indian tribe, so in order to create a sort of magician expectancy to them. Then we ask them to draw on a surface in order to familiarize with it. After that, they start to playing the activities, and finally, we ask them to evaluate their experience with AU. The questionnaire are divided in several sections, and as you can see, most of the children like AU very much. In particular, for the voice that engage them a lot because it's an human voice, an emotional voice. For the light effects that give the immersivity during the game, the fact that they have to listen to a story and work in group. This is an important factor because they love to work together and they collaborate each other. In fact, a lot of them ask if they can bring AU at home to play with their family or with their friends. After that, we collect data from video, and we ask psychologists to help us to find the key points to the effect that AU has on the children. In particular, I'm not going to explain all in detail, but it's evident that the joy that children have during the activity. We notice also that the more competent one help a lot who has an hard time playing. And also the fact that they have to play in the same time for the same goal gives a sort of initiation in collaboration and socialization between them. There are also several effects on teacher. In particular, they are engaged too during the activity, and they encourage people, children, and motivate them when they have some problems or they cannot do some task. And they have a very important role during the activity of regulation, so the turn that the children have to respect during the game. And after some months, they the teacher asked to the children to draw their experience with us. And it's clear that they remember the experience and they draw in a very good way. But we are planning to do another study in order to measure the returns and the remembrance. So if they remember activities they enjoyed, and also if they want to play again this pleasant activity. In conclusion, this is a starting point exploring the potential of a multisensory system in a classroom. And in particular, we notice a sort of reverse inclusion. So the children with disability are included spontaneously during the activities. And this is, I think, a good starting point for school system with these new technologies for include all people in a classroom. So thank you, and I'm here for questions.
Any questions for our speaker?
Hi, Ed C. from NUITech. This is really cool work. I really enjoyed seeing it. And I was wondering just a little bit more about the story that you told about the totem pole and stuff like that. Can you tell me a little bit about like the kind of, you're trying to make the technology a little bit more familiar, but what impact did telling the story have for how the children ended up playing? And did you try any times where you didn't tell the story, and did they interact with it differently as a result?
Yeah, because the magic room, the one in the state of the art, is made by us in the past, and we noticed that telling a story around the playing activities that can be also disconnect to the playing activities gives a sort of motivation. So AU as a totem is a totem of a tribe, and they feel like part of it. And so
also it gives them a role in addition to telling them about what the AHU is about. Okay, very cool. Yeah, I love the idea of the story, because I love the idea of kind of making it familiar, and they have a role to play from the context of the story. Very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I had one last question. What was the teacher's reaction to introducing the system? Were they in general positive to adding more technology to the classroom? And did they see that as a positive for the children, or did they see that adding more technology might be detrimental to the children?
In general, Italian school system is very slow in this field, but I saw in a positive approach of it, because in particular the younger one know the potential of the technology and want to experiment more, because of every people has different abilities, and maybe read a text is not the best one to learn something. So use movement and use other part of the body can help a lot children in that field.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's give a big hand for our speaker.